So the devs have given us an update on the whole housing taxes situation. And also, I personally want to give you an update on some things you might want to know about gold. Not sort of duplication, but not in the way that we imagine. Gold inflation, which we never thought we'd see in this game if this was like 2 months ago. And just those types of issues in general. Economy issues, gold issues, all that type of stuff. So the first thing that I want to go through, though, is a dev post from today talking about that reduction in housing taxes, although they don't address how companies are using it to, like, you know, low-key duplicate gold sort of ish, but they do talk at the taxes. I don't know if they're aware people are doing it. Maybe they are. But anyway, let's take a look at this. So this is Luxendra. This was 4 hours ago, and they said, from when I recorded this, housing taxes restored to normal. To compensate players who owned houses and were negatively impacted by server clock issues players were experiencing in November, we temporarily lowered the weekly housing taxes by 90%. As communicated above, the 90% reduction on housing taxes took effect from November 23rd until our monthly December update. With our December update, housing taxes will be returned to their normal levels. We want to say thank you, and we are sorry again to our players who were impacted by the recent issues. And I was like, okay. And then 3 hours later, which was about an hour ago from when I recorded this, Luxendra came back again in this post and was like, who raises taxes before the holidays? What kind of Scrooge are we? To add to the spirit of the holidays, we will keep the housing tax discount live through December. Happy holidays. Which was, I'm down. It felt a little weird, but I am down for that. Okay, sure. Why not? But that still brings up another question, though, about, that means, how is this going to affect the economy? It's great for players on low pop servers. It's great for players who don't have a lot of money. But if you guys aren't aware, that pretty much every company that owns a territory in the game is taking advantage of this in order to duplicate gold out of thin air. Okay, now you can't. There's a limit to how much they duplicate per day, but they are creating gold out of nothing. And let me show you what I mean. So this is the governor's desk. If you're not familiar, there's one of these in every territory. You can actually see taxes for any company. You don't have to be involved. You can just check. So here's Windsward. This is the biggest territory on our server for whatever reason. Whatever reason, our server prefers Windsward over Everfall, generally. So in the current pay period, they've made 2 million coins in taxes. If you look at the statement, okay, we have property taxes coming in with a whopping 1 million coins in this period. Now, this period should end soon. It was November 8th, yeah, so it ends like today, maybe. But if we go way back, as far back as we can go, before they did this thing with the taxes, property taxes were less than 350,000 or 338,000 for that week. And then they did the tax thing, it immediately jumped to 870,000, 874, and then since, I guess, more people have got houses. Man, November 8th, was, look at that, way less. Anyway, now we're up to a point where it's 1 million in tax. So what happened is, every company, knowing that people's taxes are reduced, increased the taxes to, right now it's capped at 2%. Normally it can go to 10%, I think, but right now they don't let you go to 2%. So what's happening is people who own houses pay 90% less. But to compensate for this, they made it so that any taxes drawn to the governors gets duplicated by a factor of like 9 or whatever to make it come up to be the same in taxes, even though people are paying less, which creates gold out of nothing. They're literally like these property taxes. If you look at this, I don't know the exact conversion here, but maybe like 100,000 coins were paid in property taxes and 1 million coins were made out of thin air. And this is happening on pretty much every single server in the entire game. Now, high pop servers feel the impact of this a lot more than low pop servers. Like, I'm on a high pop server, and so the total taxes generated is just insane in all these places. I can't actually show you without going there, but same kind of thing in Everfall, same kind of thing everywhere. Every company's doing it. I don't blame them, honestly. I mean, like, why not? You're just creating tax out of nothing. People's taxes are still pretty cheap, even with this increase. But the bigger question is how it's affecting the economy, which on my server is having quite an impact. Now, some servers is even worse than mine, but I just wanted to show you some things in here. So Tolvium, it's up to 150. Cinnabar is up to 140. Asmodium, just to give you some things to look at, is at 500 a piece. Even the basic things are coming up, like Rawhide's now at 0.23. Greenwood is now at 0.14. Greenwood was at 0.04 before they did this tax thing like a month ago. And all these things have been climbing and climbing and climbing because more and more money is being added into the economy from this duplication trick. And so it's just slowly, the entire world is getting more. The companies get it first, but they spend it. And it gets distributed to everybody. So then everybody as a whole, on average, has more money, which makes all prices go up on average. And it's affecting my server a lot. Now, is this good or bad? I don't really care, honestly. but I just want to talk about it, and this is actually happening. But this isn't the only thing apparently affecting it. There's something else I want to share with you that was very, very interesting. So this was posted 9 days ago. Someone sent this to me, and there's some stuff here that's very, very interesting, okay? So the accusation here, to summarize this, was that this guy runs some gold selling website, and he's in here mad and bitching about some Chinese gold seller that is on the 13 top servers in US East, at least on those ones, including the server that I'm on, and selling gold for basically like nothing, and it's going down and down and down. And there was some other post somewhere it's going like maybe 40 cents for 1,000 or something, and whatever, had some way he's tracked it. And so this person sold $22,000 worth of gold in a week, and then the question is, how is he getting it? And the claim is that this person, or these people, what they're doing is they are opening like 40 clients at the same time. Now, apparently, there's this whole crazy rigmarole of what they're doing. So, first off, if you buy New World in like certain foreign nations, it's super cheap because that's the only way people can afford it. Like I heard in Russia, it's only like $10 or something to buy New World. So you can just switch where you're from to that on Steam or something. So you can do some crazy stuff. So the people are getting cheap copies. Then there's a bot program that they have that they're running. They'll open one PC, open like 10 to 40 clients on one PC. Run bot programs. If they make it to level 60, then they get to level 60. Cool. Once they have enough bots ready at level 60, they run Outpost Rush against themselves on one PC, and then just all that gold goes to their 40 accounts, and then they're pulling that money and then selling it on these types of services. And that is how they're generating gold. Now, this was 9 days ago that someone posted about this, and here's something really interesting. Before I actually go on why I believe this, let me go to something that was really interesting. So you think, oh, whatever, it's just BS, right? But then why, if it was just BS, did at the very end, Luxendra says, thanks to the reports, the team is looking into it, closed the thread, and unlisted the thread. So you can only find this thread if you have the URL for this thread. I've never even seen them do this before. So why would they unlist it if there wasn't some credence to what's being said here? Which I think is very, very interesting and very telling. And you know why I believe it? Because I was one of the first people to start complaining, like, I think it was 2.5, 3 weeks ago. Even though people were duplicating taxes, I'd been watching the economy and I was like, okay, whatever. It was having an impact. But then I noticed there were suddenly just signs of gold duplication going on. Not gold selling. Where people are getting money, they don't care what they spend it on because they spent real life money to get the coins, so it just feels free to them in a sense, even though it's not free. And I would see things where it's like, wow, someone just came by and spent 100,000 coins on fire motes and bought them all out till 5 coins a piece. And anyone who got the money from like even the taxes, they're going to be more realistic. But when people buy the coins, they don't feel stupid just doing stupid stuff with it. So I started seeing things in the last 3 weeks of every now and then you'll see things just make no sense. And also I was seeing prices come up off the floor really high. Like what we're seeing, like what I just showed you. Greenwood at 0.15. I saw one time Greenwood bought out all the way to like 0.4 and things, and it's like, okay, you know, and also I'm not going to sit here and say it's definitive. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say, oh, I have definitive proof. I have evidence and that's it. I personally am a believer, but that doesn't mean that you have to believe. I have no problem with any of you guys not believing. That's totally fine. But this is something interesting I wanted to share with you. Now, hopefully it gets addressed, but at the same time, how much do we really care? Because for this one, because this isn't like the gold dupe where they create trillions of coins. I know we care. Okay, don't be wrong. We do care, obviously. But the thing is I remember about 2 months ago, the majority of players were having a serious complaint about deflation. And it finally got to a point, even on high pop servers, you were seeing prices that were just insanely low. Now, low pop servers, you still see insane prices just because there's no supply sometimes. And no one buys those prices, but they get listed like that because no one else is listing. But we were all complaining about deflation. And all these things are fighting deflation. And it's kind of interesting, though, because like now things are high enough that you can just go farm young trees again and make money. You can do whatever you want and make decent money again. Now, there's a flip side to it. Like on my server, precision armoring tools are almost 60,000 coins a piece now because of this. So certain items are almost unobtainable because of this. But for your average player just trying to buy motes and things, it just, I don't know, it feels kind of more fun to have a little bit more money. Now, once it goes too far and gets out of hand, then it's absurd. Like, if it's like, oh, fire motes are 10 apiece, everything's just through the roof and that's normal. I mean, it'll all scale relative, so I mean, does it really matter? But it makes it a lot easier for people with taxes, like your house taxes. You can buy houses, you can pay. So there's a certain minimum bar that you'd like to see on coins that would make your life easier. Like if young trees sold for a coin a piece consistently, think of how easy it would be to get all your house and stuff. So there's kind of a balance between being able to get everything you want, all tier 4 houses, everything that you want, and then paying the taxes, no problem, and everything for literally every player, and having some kind of challenge to it. So I'm not really sure, but this is just a situation that's going on. So more than anything, I just want to tell you the situation. Like, I'm okay with it going either way as long as it get out of hand, but these are things I think are very interesting. And there is one more thing about gold inflation that I want to touch on in this video. And I'll just keep it short for this last one. So the winter event is coming. And in, I think, 4 towns, I think it was Windsward, Everfall, Weaver's Fen, and was it Brightwood or was it Monarchs? I think it was Brightwood. I don't remember. There's going to be a tree. See that statue behind my head in here? That's going to be replaced with a big tree. And at the job board for each town, there will be a thing there where players can do, you know, turn in freaking, like, well, my God, I can't remember. I haven't done the job board so long. Turn in meals, turn in kill turkeys, you know, all those stupid missions you did when you were leveling up. They'll be there, and they will level up the tree. When the tree hits max level, it makes it give better presents. When it is max level, you go there once a day to grab a present. That present gives you 100 coins for literally every player on the server who's willing to go there once a day. So, especially on high pop servers, that's going to lead to, like, how much is 100? Let's see. Thousands, 10,000 players cycle on throughout a day, maybe 20,000, and you multiply that by 100, so that's like, I mean, we could easily see like 500,000 to like 3 million coins generated a day, depending on how many people come in and out of a high pop server on a day. Now, obviously, a pop server is going to be different. So, gold inflation might just end up hitting even harder. Well, actually, that's per tree. There's 4 trees total. So it's 400 coins per person per day if they feel like going and getting them all. Like, it's kind of a pain to go 4 different places. Although Azov's going to be free after this update, if you haven't seen my other video, so fast traveling is not going to be that big of an issue. So you'd actually be able to use Azov vials to fast travel and still make money on that 100 coins because Azov vials are going to be that cheap. So these are just all things you guys should be aware of when it comes to inflation and what's going on with all this stuff. So I don't really have a purpose for this video other than to inform you. I'm not going to sit here and be like, you know what that means? You've got to buy gunpowder or something, you know, just some stuff. There really is nothing I have for you as far as that in relation to this. But I wanted you to be aware of the situation. Just, I don't know, maybe there's something that matters for you of why you'd want to know. But I just wanted to spread the word of what is happening with the economies in this game. And if you might finally, like, it's starting to hit a point where a lot of people are starting to notice, like what I noticed 3 weeks ago, which these prices going up. They're starting to go so high that people are starting to be like, well, I'm getting DMs from people being like, dude, what? Greenwood's at 0.15? What the heck? Like, a lot of stuff like that. So, I just want you guys to know why that's happening, what the situation is, and also what the devs had to say just a little bit ago about taxes. So now you know the situation with gold inflation in this game, a little bit of low-key gold duplication, not as bad as before. It's in a different way, in a smaller scale, but when you know what's going on with that, just an overall general update on the gold situation and the economy situation in New World.